gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Montreal police are set to roll out body-worn cameras, and commuters should expect moderate delays as tunnel construction continues. Tonight's lineup includes the red jumpsuit apparatus playing downtown, and will also preview the new Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital site. Over to you, Emma.
The red jumpsuit apparatus will perform Friday night at the Bell Center. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Doors open at 7:30, capacity 12,000.
The concert, part of the summer music series, features a supporting act by local indie band Les Etoiles, scheduled to start at 8 o'clock, with a meet and greet after.
Fans can purchase a premium package that includes a backstage tour, signed merchandise, and a complimentary drink. Pricing begins at $150, available online now.
The venue will enforce a no outside food policy. Security checks begin at 6:45, and the event supports local charity Municipal Montreal. Lots to get to, let's begin. Here are our top stories. Montreal police will begin equipping officers with body-worn cameras, a move the city says aims to boost public confidence and increase transparency. Experts caution technology alone cannot address deeper issues. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
Police officers in Montreal are now being equipped with body-worn cameras as the city launches its first phase of the program. The Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal says every uniformed member will receive a compact video unit by the end of the year, with training sessions already underway on proper usage and data storage. Criminologist Rémi Boivin explained that the technology is intended to reinforce public confidence and provide clearer records of interactions. City officials framed the rollout as a step toward greater transparency, though some experts caution that cameras alone cannot address deeper systemic concerns. The initiative will be monitored for compliance and impact as it rolls out across the force. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Montreal. The ruins of a century-old church in southwest Montreal are set for demolition after a winter fire left the structure dangerously unstable. Religious authorities announced the plan this morning, saying engineers have determined that the weakened walls pose an imminent risk of collapse. The fire, which burned through the nave and roof during the winter of 2025 into 2026, caused extensive damage to the historic stone facade and interior timber. Officials will begin tearing down the remains next week, with safety crews on site to protect nearby residents. The decision follows weeks of assessment by heritage experts, who concluded that preservation was no longer feasible. The demolition will clear the site for future redevelopment while removing a looming hazard from the neighborhood. City officials hope the removal will allow the area to move forward safely.
Mayors of the city's 19 boroughs are facing a proposal that would award them $700 for each table des maires session they attend, a sum that could total $7,000 annually. The compensation plan, put forward by the municipal administration, is billed as a means to deepen cooperation among the borough leaders as they coordinate citywide policies and initiatives. The table des maires convenes regularly to align strategies on transportation, housing, and public services, and officials say the stipend would recognize the time commitment required. Critics note the potential cost to taxpayers, while supporters argue that modest remuneration may encourage fuller participation. The city has not yet set a final vote on the measure, and the proposal remains under review by the council. If adopted, the policy would apply to all borough meetings beginning next fiscal year.
Quebec's health agency, Santé Québec, has acquired a $30 million parcel in Montreal to host the planned Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital, advancing provincial healthcare expansion. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Health officials announced today that Santé Québec has closed on a $30 million parcel of land in the heart of the Maisonneuve-Rosemont neighborhood. The site will serve as the future home of the province's planned Maisonneuve-Rosemont Hospital, a key component of Montreal's expanding healthcare infrastructure. The transaction was finalized on the 21st of August, and the province has earmarked further funding for construction phases slated to begin later this decade. Officials said the purchase clears a major hurdle, securing a dedicated location for the new facility that will address growing demand for medical services in the east end of the city. The acquisition follows months of planning and consultation with local stakeholders as the government moves forward with its broader hospital development strategy. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Maisonneuve-Rosemont.
Citizens of Lachine will gather this afternoon for a public consultation on the proposed open-air swimming pool at Lake St. Louis. After months of uncertainty that threatened the project's cancellation, supporters secured enough signatures to force a review. Officials say the meeting, scheduled for today at the Lachine Community Center, will give residents a chance to voice opinions, ask questions, and shape the final plan. The pool, envisioned as a seasonal attraction on the lake's shoreline, has drawn both enthusiasm for its recreational promise and concern over environmental impact. City leaders emphasized that community input will determine whether the project moves forward or is shelved. The consultation runs for a few hours, with a summary of comments to be presented to the Borough Council next month. The borough will consider the comments when it meets next month to decide the project's fate. Coming up, the Quebec police watchdog launches a probe into a fatal crash and what it means for road safety. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Quebec's Police Oversight Agency has opened a formal investigation into a fatal crash that occurred in early August. Authorities say the vehicle involved allegedly attempted to evade police before colliding, resulting in multiple deaths. The incident, which claimed the lives of 3 occupants, has intensified public scrutiny of police pursuit practices. The probe, led by the province's police watchdog, will examine whether police actions contributed to the tragedy and assess compliance with investigative protocols. The watchdog's mandate covers serious incidents where police conduct is called into question, and this case marks its first inquiry into a high-speed pursuit ending in a lethal collision. Investigators will review dashcam footage, witness statements, and the circumstances surrounding the attempted flight. Findings will be reported to the Minister of Public Safety and could prompt recommendations for policy changes or disciplinary measures.
Liberal leader Charles Milliard announced a review to expand Quebec's public procurement, aiming to open thousands of contracts each year to small and medium-sized enterprises. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
The Liberal Party of Quebec announced today it will launch a review aimed at widening access to the province's public procurement system for small and medium-sized businesses. Party leader Charles Milliard said the move is intended to open up the thousands of contracts awarded each year to more local firms, giving Quebec's SMEs a clearer pathway into government work. Officials note that current bidding rules often favor larger players, leaving many small enterprises on the sidelines. The party's proposal includes simplifying application procedures and creating dedicated outreach programs to help smaller companies navigate the process. If adopted, the changes could see a noticeable rise in SME participation across the province's purchasing landscape. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Quebec City. The Coalition Avenir Quebec rolled out a parallel electoral tour today, enlisting social media entrepreneur Olivier Primo to front a series of events across Quebec in support of party leader Christine Fréchette. Primo, known for his online following, will appear at town hall meetings, community gatherings, and digital live streams, urging voters to back Fréchette as the CAQ heads toward the upcoming election. Party officials say the separate circuit is intended to broaden outreach and tap younger audiences, a departure from the party's usual single-track campaign strategy. Critics note the move is atypical for the CAQ, which traditionally consolidates its messaging under one coordinated tour. The new schedule will run alongside the main campaign trail, with Primo's appearances slated for multiple locations over the coming weeks. The party hopes the high-profile partnership will energize its base and attract undecided voters ahead of the fall ballot.
The province will enact a formal prohibition on the public display of the Hells Angels emblem beginning September 2nd. The measure, announced by Quebec officials this week, makes it illegal to wear, display, or reproduce the biker gang's distinctive skull and wings logo in any public setting. Violations will be treated as a criminal offense, with penalties ranging from fines to possible custodial sentences. Authorities say the ban aims to curb the organization's visibility and limit its ability to recruit or intimidate through symbolic presence. Police will monitor compliance through routine checks and respond to reports of illegal use. The decision follows a series of high-profile investigations into gang-related activity across the province, and it marks the latest step in a broader effort to curb organized crime. The SPVM will coordinate with provincial prosecutors to ensure swift application of the new rule.
2 e-scooter riders were filmed on Highway 125 South in Laval, igniting safety concerns and prompting calls for stricter enforcement of Quebec's highway ban. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
2 riders were spotted zipping along Highway 125 South in Laval, a route officially off-limits to electric scooters. The footage, captured Friday mid-morning, shows the pair navigating the fast-moving traffic lane, prompting immediate safety concerns from motorists and local officials. Quebec law allows e-scooters on municipal streets and designated bike paths, but explicitly bans them on highways. After the video went public, community leaders and police representatives have called for tighter enforcement and clearer regulations to prevent similar incidents. The incident has reignited a citywide debate over monitoring scooter traffic. Critics argue the current rules are not being applied consistently, while authorities stress the need to protect both drivers and riders. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Laval.
Now let's turn to our weather team for tonight's outlook. Stay tuned.
A persistent high over Quebec steers a dry, mild evening as the jet stream slices the province. The all-time heat record for this date stands at 34 degrees Celsius, set in 2021 during an unprecedented late summer surge. The cold record is 13 degrees Celsius, recorded in 2024 when an Arctic dip briefly stalled over the city. Normal highs hover around 23 degrees, with lows near 13. Those extremes underline how the current high pressure is a stark departure from the typical late summer variability, yet still sits within the broader climate envelope. The radar screen is completely quiet, showing no echoes across the province. A solid high-pressure dome suppresses lift, while the jet stream rides well aloft, steering any moisture far to the north. With no frontal boundary in sight, precipitation will not develop over the metropolitan area tonight. The clear pattern will persist until after midnight, when the ridge begins to drift eastward. I now turn to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits at 22 degrees Celsius under a cloudless sky. Humidity rests at 30%, and the wind is a gentle 6 kilometers per hour from the northwest. High pressure remains steady, preventing any surface convergence that could spark clouds. Meanwhile, the jet stream streams southwest at 131 kilometers per hour, reinforcing the ridge and keeping the air mass stable. Tonight will stay clear, with temperatures slipping to 13 degrees after midnight. The ultraviolet index is 5. Winds will peak at 8 kilometers per hour from the southwest, feeling barely perceptible. No weather alerts are active. This sets the stage for the upcoming 5-day trend. Saturday brings a high of 27 degrees and a low of 12, with another clear sky as the ridge holds. Sunday's high will be 24 degrees, low 17, and a 60% chance of rain as a weak trough nudges the jet stream southward, inviting isolated showers. Monday sees a high of 22 and a low of 16, with a 45% rain probability as lingering moisture lingers. Tuesday offers a high of 21 and a low of 16, partly cloudy with a 40% chance of rain as the trough slowly retreats. Wednesday returns to clear skies, high 23, low 16, as the ridge reestablishes dominance. These swings illustrate the jet stream's oscillation between southward dips and northward lifts, driving the modest temperature and precipitation variations. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic delays continue. Shows include The Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Comeback Kid, and Bowling for Soup. Chamber Spotlight follows. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Emma Leclerc, a major construction zone is slowing traffic through the Viger Tunnel between Panet Street and Exit 5 at Robert Bourassa. Lanes are reduced, so expect backups of up to 15 minutes during the afternoon rush. The Ville-Marie Tunnel, stretching from Robert Bourassa to St. Laurent, is also under work, with alternating traffic flow that adds similar delays. On the surface, Autoroute Ville-Marie at Exit 5 for Mansfield Street sees only minor hindrance, but drivers should still allow extra time. No accidents are reported, so the congestion is purely construction-related. On transit, the SDM will bar bicycles and pets from the yellow line after 6 p.m., lasting until the system closes. This restriction could affect commuters who rely on the metro for late evening trips. If you're heading downtown, consider alternate routes or a later departure to avoid the bottlenecks. Aside from the tunnels, the rest of the network stays clear, so you can shift to Boulevard St. Laurent or Rue St. Denis as detours.
First up, the Warped Tour rolls into Parc Jean-Drapeau today, a two-day alternative music festival that transforms the park into a high-energy playground of punk and hardcore acts. If you love discovering fresh bands while the sun sets, this is the place to be. Also tonight, the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus takes the stage at the same park, delivering the emo pop anthems that defined a generation, great for a nostalgic sing-along under the lights. Across town, pop R&B star Faye Uzia is performing at Beanfield Theatre, offering a soulful set that blends powerful vocals with intimate storytelling, ideal for a relaxed evening with friends. If you're hunting bites, the Montreal Food and Craft Festival Market at Place Jean-Paul Riopel continues through tonight, where local chefs and artisans serve up summer flavors you can taste while you wander. And looking ahead, tomorrow night CF Montreal hosts LA Galaxy at Saputo Stadium, a marquee MLS showdown you won't want to miss. And now here's Jason with sports.
Habs headlines fire up the summer, from rising prospects to a Hall of Fame celebration. The Canadiens' fourth-round pick LJ Mooney silenced size skeptics by posting 30 points in 34 freshman games at the NCAA level. At 5'8", his quickness and scoring touch give Montreal a versatile winger who could earn a bottom-six role and force a look at the center depth chart this fall. General manager Craig Button declares Montreal's championship window now spans next 6 seasons, signaling the front office will build around its youthful core rather than chase contracts. With the 2023 draft class entering its third year, Habs are eyeing a few PTO candidates while veteran defenseman Ivan Lambert rehabilitates from hip and femur surgery. Montreal inked Russian forward Bogdan Konyushkov to an entry-level deal after Torpedo Nizhny Novgorod released his extension, then immediately loaned him back for a full KHL campaign. The arrangement positions the Habs to add a seasoned winger to the roster for a potential April playoff surge, bolstering depth on the wing. Veteran center Patrice Bergeron lauds Nick Suzuki as possessing every quality of a true franchise player, underscoring the young star's central role in Montreal's long-term plans. That endorsement amplifies expectations for Suzuki to lead the top six, drive the power play, and anchor the team as the Habs chase their 6-year window. Swiss forward Vinzenz Rohrer arrived in Laval after a championship-laden stint with the Zurich Lions, where he captured the National League title and a Champions Hockey League crown. Though his point total dipped this season, his experience in high-stakes European play gives Montreal a seasoned option for depth scoring. The Canadiens will enshrine goaltender Carey Price in the Bell Center's Ring of Honor during the November 10 matchup with the Minnesota Wild, just a day after his Hall of Fame induction. The ceremony caps a season that also unveiled the full 2026-27 special games slate, highlighting Montreal's celebration of its recent legends. Stay tuned as Montreal's window widens and the chase begins.
Thanks, Jason. Good Food, the meal kit company tucked in the heart of Ville-Marie, has been a fixture on Montreal kitchen tables since 2014. The founder's vision of fresh, locally sourced recipes arrived each week in a cardboard box, making home cooking easy for busy professionals across the city. Today, the company announced it has entered creditor protection and is exploring a sale or new investment to keep the business afloat. That move could preserve dozens of jobs in the neighborhood and keep the familiar good food boxes on our doorsteps, while also signaling a turning point for the local food tech scene. In a city that loves to eat together, good food reminds us that a shared meal is the soul of Montreal. Later we'll hear how a historic Montreal church is honoring jazz legend Oliver Jones with a moving memorial. Stay tuned.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Montreal's Union United Church gathered family, friends, and fellow musicians Thursday to honor jazz legend Oliver Jones, whose career began there at age 5. The memorial celebrated his enduring musical legacy. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
At Union United Church in Little Burgundy, a solemn gathering marked the final farewell to Oliver Jones. On Thursday, August 20th, 2026, family members, close friends, fellow musicians, and longtime admirers filled the sanctuary. The program included a brief tribute, a rendition of Jones's signature ballads, and a moment of silence honoring his 5-year-old debut on this very altar, the concert that launched a career that would define Canadian jazz. Attendees shared stories of his generosity and his influence on generations of pianists. The service concluded with a candle lighting, each flame symbolizing the enduring resonance of his music across the nation. The congregation rose as the final notes faded, a collective salute to a lifetime of improvisation. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Little Burgundy.
In 2001, Montreal won the bid to host the World Anti-Doping Agency's headquarters, narrowly beating Lausanne, Switzerland. The agency has operated from the city for 25 years. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
On a crisp autumn morning in 2001, officials gathered at the historic Palais des Congrès, where the World Anti-Doping Agency announced its new home. After a tight vote, Montreal edged out the Swiss city of Lausanne, securing the right to host the agency's global headquarters. The decision was celebrated on the streets of the city, with banners fluttering and local leaders highlighting Montreal's commitment to clean sport. Over the past 25 years, the agency has established its main offices in the downtown core, drawing international staff and fostering research partnerships with nearby universities. The legacy of that close competition still echoes in the city's sports community, reminding locals of the moment they became the global hub for anti-doping efforts. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Today's look at the police rollout of body-worn cameras highlighted a step toward greater transparency. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow night. Until then, stay safe and keep the conversation going.